on my phone.
No, it's too late. You look like you're looking at your phone.
Okay, wait, I'm getting the questions. There they are.
Hey, okay, it's all right. Relax. It's fine.
Okay, I got it.
Nothing bad is going to happen, Riley. I promise.
Okay.
I'm sitting on my floor again. Oh, this is great. Company is key.
Pillow.
Yeah. Hey, we're back building rockets and stuff. Riley, how are you?
I am great. I'm back in like voluntary isolation because where I live, we've had lots of little hotspots. So trying not to leave the house. But other than that, pretty good. How have you been?
Yeah, look, I've also been not leaving the house much, but we're okay where I am so far. But yeah, it's a weird time, isn't it? And I feel so sorry for everyone in Melbourne as well.
Oh yeah.
And Victoria more generally. And obviously the world. But you know, it's okay. I was asked to write something yesterday about their Curiosity rover, and today is, when we're recording, is the anniversary of when Curiosity landed on Mars, which is very exciting. And so I was like, so I was asked to write something, and it ended up being so deep and philosophical because I was just like, I don't know, I was just feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the world. And I was just like, it's so interesting that in 2012, when it landed, the rover was called Curiosity. The next rover that just launched last week, it's called Perseverance. And I was like, that is something I can cling to.
Yeah, nice.
Perseverance is necessary at the moment.
I definitely agree to that. 100%.
Yeah. I've also been making a lot of masks. Well, what? You what? What?
Did you watch the launch?
No, I was asleep.
I watched it was only at 9 p.m. I think.
Oh, I may still have been asleep. I don't know. How was it?
It was very exciting, and you know, it was a rocket launch, but I was kind of underwhelmed because the NASA feed didn't have rocket audio. So like when it actually took off, there was no like the big like boom sound.
Oh.
I know, that was a bit disappointing.
I've been making a lot of fabric face masks, and I wanted to show you some of the new fabric I got because it's really exciting.
Oh my god, yes.
So this has been so far my most like popular space sort of themed ones. Yeah. Let me put it on for the demo.
Oh, and it matches your jumpsuit. It's so pretty. I love it.
Because I think it's important to really engage with your viewers by wearing a face mask. It is quite hard to communicate with them on, but that's still it's good to wear them. So I got some new fabrics. I got bees.
That's cute.
Yeah, which is broadly aerospace, I suppose. I've got some like boats sort of things going on. I was just really going for forms of transport this time. I got more boats. And then you'll like these. I got little aircraft.
Planes.
And probably my favorite is the astronauts.
Yes,
with satellites and little satellites and little space shuttles and stuff. So
can I get some of these, please?
You can. You may have one if you ask very nicely. I bought a lot of stuff because I was thinking maybe I would sell them.
You could.
It was a wild thought. We'll see.
Right.
Well, anyway, I don't know. It's what I've been doing. We got to build rockets. I'm sorry. I'm distracting us.
Yes. So today, for the people who will watch the last episode, which you haven't released yet, but will be out soon, I finished my rocket. So now I am building the launch pad.
Do we get to see the finished rocket, or is it somewhere else?
Oh, I can get it.
Okay, I do want to see it. I'll recap on what I did last time while you're gone. So last time I installed the engine mount inside my rocket tube, and I also installed the nozzle, which you can see very well installed, and I did not cut any things off. And so where I'm up to is attaching the fins, which I think involves a lot of glue, which I'm a little concerned about. And they have to make sure they're very well aligned at 120 degrees, allegedly. And then attaching my shock cord, which I've half glued. And I got really overwhelmed by the fumes last time. So I've opened the window in anticipation. And then I have to put on my parachute and my nose cone. And then I'm up to painting.
Nice. Well,
yeah.
This was my rocket. I think it's upside down. There we go. So, and then the nose cone just pops off, and the shock cord and the parachute is already inside. So
I think, oh my gosh, it looks incredible.
She's almost ready to go.
She?
Of course.
Does she have a name?
Well, I'm being boring and just calling her Amazon because that's what the sticker says, but
maybe she could be an Amazonian warrior.
She could be Wonder Woman.
She could be. Yes. All right, I'm going to get going on this, but we had some correspondence in the intervening weeks, so we thought we'd get through that. Mm-hmm.
So the first question was from someone at Sprout Hat, and they said, not related to this topic, but how was your day? I think this is a good to start off with.
That's lovely. Thank you, at Sprout Hat.
Yeah, I agree. How's my day been? Pretty relaxed. I am working from home for my internship at the moment, but today I'm kind of doing an assignment, which is due in a couple of weeks, so I'm trying to finish that today. But so yeah, that's been my day.
Oh, nice. I'm just looking at my instructions for inserting my fins into slots. And I think the answer, Riley, is to use less glue than I did last time. Well, oh, I'm so excited. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, it's coming.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great with a bit of poly cement.
How was your day, Annie?
My day has been great. I've been preparing for a webinar I'm doing tonight at 10 p.m. Sydney time, but it's international, so that's why. And it's in celebration of Curiosity's landing. We're doing a Mars disaster seminar thing. So we have a disaster scenario, and spoiler alert, because this will have already happened, so I can talk about it. There may or may not be a case of appendicitis on Mars, and also a loss of oxygen. So I've been preparing all of the polling questions for that, because the audience will be able to like play along and choose what happens in some cases. And also just like preparing the scenario and just preparing some slides to go along with everything. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Sounds so exciting. You would get so into that. I mean, I think I would as well. I don't know why I haven't signed up for this webinar.
Well, you should sign up for it if you're interested. The great thing with webinars is it's so low stress. Like, you can sign up, you can log into the Zoom, and if you don't like it in like the first 15 minutes, where, let's be honest, you've got your camera off and you're doing other stuff anyway, then you can just like leave and it's not rude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I'm really in favor of this. And I've also been preparing for teaching next semester.
Oh yeah, because we start uni soon. Well,
you do.
I start uni soon.
We do start uni soon. Are you taking my course, Riley?
I checked my credit points and I can't actually do it.
Aw.
Maxed my
put this
work.
down so you can see.
All right,
Your what?
I've maxed my workload this semester.
Oh, that's all right. But, it's still very exciting though. I love teaching. It's great.
You would make an amazing teacher.
Oh, thanks. Well, you've never taken my course, so that may not be true. I might make a terrible teacher.
Well, we'll have to see, won't we? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about what bits I just got, just so everyone can be a bit excited. So this is the pivot point of all the legs that are supposed to be attached. These are the legs, and they've got like flash lightning bolts. I'm assuming because our rocket's going to go really fast. And then we've got the blast deflector plate, which is actually pretty cool. And then I've also got down here, which you've already seen me use, the metal rods.
Oh.
And now I just have to put it all together. So
Great. I think I'm going to add more glue to this. I had a look at like what the instructions said, and honestly, I think if I was a rocket, I would find the level of glue that it's required for these spins insufficient. So let's do the thing.
No, did you see it roll away?
What happened?
It just, all the rods just rolled away. Well,
Oh no.
I think while we're building, we do another question because I feel like
Yes.
Right. So Science Peter wrote in and asked us to answer, what steps do I need to take to blow up the moon? Asking for a friend. I think you,
Oh, Science Peter.
I feel
Wow.
like you have a lot to say about this topic.
I mean, you're the one who knows about nuclear propulsion, so
I know, but
I can talk to the like legal and regulatory steps, but if you're talking to the like engineering-y steps, that makes sense. Okay, Riley's gone, so I guess we're just doing law now. So to blow up the moon, well, I actually did a talk at Physics in the Pub a while ago on, it was called Do You Want to Build a Death Star? And it was about how like technically it could be legal to turn the moon into a Death Star, and that maybe Australia should do this and then sell it to the US because we could make money. That was the idea. It was obviously as a joke. I don't want to build a Death Star. I kind of want to build a Death Star, but I don't. But the idea was, so that's different though, because Science Peter wants to know about blowing up the moon. And I actually have a book called Nuking the Moon, which was written by a guy, what's his name? He's so lovely, from the International Spy Museum in Washington, DC. And I interviewed him for my podcast, and he was a delight. And his name has slipped my mind, so I'm going to look it up. But the thing was that there's this, there was a CIA plan briefly to nuke the moon as a show of American dominance during the Cold War. And
implications on the rest of the world.
Yeah. It wasn't the world's best idea. This is awkward when you have to look up your own space podcast to remember who you interviewed. Yeah. Anyway, let's look it up and see what we find. So I would say to Science Peter first that others have thought about this. Dr. Vince Houghton. Dr. Vince Houghton. I don't know why I'm showing you my screen, but if you want to listen to an interview I did with Dr. Vince Houghton from the International Spy Museum in DC on space espionage, go check it out. So yeah, so actually nuking the moon though, legally prob's not a thing. You are not allowed to put weapons of mass destruction in orbit around the Earth or elsewhere in space or on celestial bodies, which means you can't put a nuke.
Or is that a law?
Sorry?
Is that a treaty or a law?
Well, they're the same thing for these purposes. So international law is formed by treaties and by domestic law and by a range of other mysterious factors. But, I'm inhaling so much glue, but this is great. I'm so excited. Yeah, so you basically, so legally, internationally, if you're an Australian or an American or basically anyone like even North Korea has ratified the Outer Space Treaty. You're not allowed to put a nuke in orbit or on the moon, which means that if you wanted to blow up the moon, you'd have to launch your weapon of mass destruction, which is really what it would be, I think. There's no official international definition of a weapon of mass destruction, but I think if it can blow up the moon, it is one. You'd have to launch it from Earth. It would have to arrive at the moon and then crash into it and blow it up. And I think that that would be quite illegal under many international laws. So yes, so while technically you might skate past Article 4 of the Outer Space Treaty, you may not skate past the ire of the world. That's my thought. So in terms of steps you need to take, consider becoming a stateless person and then don't plan on living very long, I guess. But practically speaking, Riley, you're the nukes expert. How would you blow up the moon? Is a nuke the most efficient way?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is more like you need to know stuff about planets as well, and that's not my forte. I don't know that much. But I don't know. I certainly think the rocket would be the way to go, potentially. But it would have to be a big rocket. Like, it would have to be, I think, bigger than any rocket we've built.
Yeah. And one of the reasons that you're not really meant to launch nukes and weapons of mass destruction into orbit is because there's a risk that they blow up on launch or like before they exit the atmosphere. And also during the Cold War, there were some nuclear tests that disrupted the Van Allen belt, which was a bad thing too, which you can also go look up. So generally speaking, yeah, no nukes in space, ideally. So I think blowing up the moon, the steps you'd need to take, I just don't see it being feasible.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be very, very, very hard to get away with. Or like, I mean, if you have to build the rocket, right, and it's going to be huge, I feel like that's going to be something people are going to find out about really quick, and you're not going to be able to really hide it.
Yeah, and like, why would you? The moon's very nice.
Well, I don't know.
Go on.
I'm just thinking of like the Star Wars scene where they blow up Alderaan, and it's really sad.
Yeah, and no one likes the bad guys, and they lose in the end. So just remember that, Science Peter.
That was such a good question, though. I thoroughly enjoyed that question.
That was a great question. I always like having these conversations because I talk to a lot of space weapons experts as part of my research and just general activities. And I love these questions. I ask these questions all the time, like over a beer. I'm like, so tell me. Yeah, it's great fun.
I'm having such difficulty. It doesn't go. Oh, that's probably because I'm doing it upside down, right? I'm over here making Hulk noises because it doesn't fit.
Because of the amount of glue that we've inhaled over this series. And particularly last week, it was a lot.
I'm like trying to, I had a headache for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I want to say I opened the window before we started, and that was a great decision. Like my level of inhalation is a lot lower, which also probably goes to the whole COVID thing, you know, ventilation, etc. I had some comments come through from Kevin Castro, who writes histories of science and technology and is just really an MVP when it comes to this stuff. And Kevin said, did we ever find out why the instructions called for us to round the fin's leading edges? To which I said, We have a
Sorry.
moment of silence for the cat.
This is Charlie. I don't think I've ever put him in one of my videos before. And I thought I locked him up. Anyway.
Charlie is the best. Yeah, so I said that it was to do with like letting air over them without wind resistance. And then Kevin went and did some research and told me that it's to do with preventing and minimizing turbulence or airflow separation. And that matters because in rockets, you want the center of pressure below the center of gravity because it helps keep the rocket vertical. So if you lessen the drag on the fins, you make them better able to perform stabilizing duties, which keeps the rocket vertical longer and the rocket thus reaches higher altitude. To which I say to Kevin, bloody good job. So that was great.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad he answered that question because I remember last week we were both going, does it? Does it? Does it? Does it?
I mean, it makes sense intuitively, but it's great to have an official answer.
Yes.
And yeah, and I should say that if you're watching this and like if you don't have a question, but you can answer a question, by all means do, because we would love to hear from you. I also asked about texture on aircraft. And it turns out there's some research out of Harvard suggesting that making very fast aircraft textured like shark skin can make them faster, which was my hypothesis from last week.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and it turns out it's a thing. So I'm not going to make my millions that way, but at least I know that I was on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to see a plane like that now.
Well, I will link the article under the video and you can go read about it. And I think there are some pictures.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you also to Kevin for that one and also Malcolm Davis who weighed in.
Yeah.
What a champ.
Speaking of rockets, we have another question. Is, are the rockets we're building sugar rockets? And the short answer is no. We are using, I want to get this right, I'm pretty sure it's gunpowder. So these are the motors. Let's see. It doesn't actually say, which I think is a bad thing.
I don't know, but I'm going to check my alignment. So forgive me for moving around a lot, but I have to look down on a thing.
Oh, surely it'll say. It just says warning flammable, which
well, that's useful.
All right, well.
I think that's aligned. I hope that's aligned.
It looks aligned to me through the video.
It does to me as well. I'm just twiddling it slightly. I think it's good. I'm just going to let it dry. Riley, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
There's this straw thing.
Ooh.
And on my instructions, it has me gluing it onto my rocket.
The outside?
Yeah.
To this.
Oh. So what happens?
So like my rocket has these little knobs and there's one in here.
Yeah.
And so that when we launch it, like, so it fits on the, what is it? The launch. Oh my God, I'm blanking.
The pad?
Yeah. It can be lined up vertically. So then essentially what happens is it just goes, it just goes up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just like a little track that it runs through to keep it straight.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it probably doesn't matter because it doesn't provide me with a lot of instructions on where I put it. Like I have to put it down the middle between two fins and I had to draw a line. But apart from that, it hasn't said like how high up the rocket to put it. So I guess just like somewhere on the body of it.
I would say so, because mine's like in the middle and then down the bottom.
Okay, well, I will put it on and see what happens.
Well, I would probably move it maybe towards the middle of the body, because I'm thinking like if you had it at the top, it would just like fly off and then has like a higher percentage of just tipping.
Yeah, I think it's halfway on my instructions. So I'll go with that.
But doing that made me realize that I need to sand this metal bit down.
Cool.
That's what I'm doing. And then we still have more questions. So we have one from Astro Judy, and she asks, how can we build one? So my answer to that would be, if you can, buy like a specific model rocket, like pack like this. If you've never made one before. Otherwise, I'm sure there's instructions online to make like a sugar rocket, for example. Or
What's
like
a sugar rocket?
Well, basically it's using sugar for fuel, because sugar is actually has a lot of energy, and if you heat it up, like, actually a perfect way to explain this is, have you watched The Martian?
Yes.
There's a reference to the chemistry guy who essentially builds a sugar bomb because remember where they have to blow up that part of the ship to move it closer to the Mars orbit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I need to rewatch The Martian, I've decided, and I probably ought to have done it before I run this webinar tonight, but I'm going to do it at some point. And yeah, I've decided that The Martian is, I'm going to watch it, but I hate the last 5 minutes, so I'm going to stop before that.
Wait, what happens in the last 5 minutes again?
He does this like lecture thing where it's like the whole movie happens, and then in the last 5 minutes, he's like giving a lecture at Harvard or something. And he's like recapping the movie. And then he's like, so what it all meant was that like, you have to be resilient and just like do your best to overcome. I'm like, I know, I get it. I watched the whole movie. I don't need you to tell me what it was about.
Oh,
it made me angry because I thought the movie was fantastic apart from that. And it was just so unnecessary. And it was just so they could have a shot of like a bunch of university students applauding this astronaut for being an astronaut. And I was like, okay, he's great. But like, yeah, can we just all, you know, in our own minds know what this was about? But maybe not. I'm not a filmmaker, so I don't know what's up.
It's like some people hate Interstellar because they're like, oh, but they base the whole movie on like love is what saves us all. And I was like, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not really like scientifically accurate per se, but I'm like, it's a movie. Like, I feel like you can't have a mass like blockbuster film that's going to appease like a large target audience than just being like all factual. Like you've got to add some element in there where everyone like relates to.
Yeah, I didn't mind that because I also think that like it is a strong force. Love or hate or whatever you want to call it is a strong force, and philosophically speaking it does span time in like a remarkable way. And I understand that it's not super scientific, but there are all sorts of aspects of human behavior and the way our minds work, and particularly the way like our emotions and our brain chemistry interacts with our body and our physical symptoms that we're only just beginning to understand. So I don't know. It didn't bother me at all. I liked Interstellar. It always makes me cry.
Oh, I know. It's so sad.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't choose to watch it on an aeroplane, you know, because I'd be super messy. I'd just be crying everywhere.
Oh, it's my favorite movie though. I'm not gonna lie.
It's so good. I am gluing my shock cord thing, and last time I put so much glue on it that it's like solid, and when I tried to fold it over, it snapped. So I've put less glue on this time, and I'm hoping that it works. Oh no, it's on my fingers. Oh no.
Well, I've now attached the rod to the end.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think I might put this here so you can see it in the camera maybe, because now I have to put the blast deflector on.
Okay. You know what I did this week? I played Legend of Zelda.
I bought that game and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. What did you think?
So I had never played video games before. I wasn't allowed to growing up. I never had any video gaming equipment. I don't even know what it's called. And so it's been an experience because like the first game I played was Nintendo 64 Mario Kart, like maybe a couple of months ago when we were in lockdown, and a friend sent it over. And I had so much trouble. This cat is the best. I had so much trouble reading the graphics and like knowing when I was meant to turn a corner. So I'm much better now, but I find the steering really hard, and I keep getting in trouble because I try and kill everyone. Because I don't know. Well, because like I don't know that person's someone I'm meant to talk to. So I'm like, it's a thing, I will kill it because it might attack me. And yeah. Oh, Riley.
Charlie.
I think you should introduce Charlie properly.
So this is Charlie. He's still a baby kitten, even though he's huge. He loves being the center of attention and loves nibbling. He doesn't bite, he just nibbles. And he purrs so loudly, but he's not purring like, nope, he's trying to bite me. You're a bit rude, aren't you?
Aww. He has lovely paws.
I know. And he's got, have you ever seen Sailor Moon?
Oh, I know of it, yeah.
He's got the little thing in between. I'm not going to show you because right now he hates me, but he's got the little bit in between his nose, but he's not looking.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, he's beautiful. I'm trying so hard to glue this, and it's really hard. This is the shock cord thing.
I'm trying to decide if I built this correctly.
Shouldn't it sit down on the thing more?
No, because you've got to
I'll put the rocket in. I mean the motor.
It's gonna have little what is it? I'm so like that you're gonna have to connect the motor to an electric like remote. What do you call this? Controller. So then you can do we can do our big countdown.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm just looking at my instructions while my shock cord thing dries. I am thinking about putting my parachute onto my rocket nose cone. So let's do that. I actually don't have that much more to do. I thought I had heaps, but I'm almost done.
Oh, that's so good because I think I'm in the same boat. So I'm going to make the controller now. You see, it's got the little, oh, you can't really see it. It's got this little thing on it now for the wind.
Ooh.
But also,
Did you get a USB camera thing?
No. Thank you for reminding me.
We had to get one of those and the little GPS sticker.
All right, I'm going to write this down now.
I know it's not scientific to say so, but this parachute is the cutest thing in the world.
We're actually going to have really cute parachutes because mine exactly the same but blue.
But will we see them? I guess as they come down. We just have
Yeah.
to hope we can see them and they don't fall on top of something that's expensive. I still have to try and get permission from the uni to launch. So remind me I have to do that.
Yes.
I was worried we wouldn't be ready to launch by Science Week, but I think we will be because all we have to do from here is pretty much wait for my glue to dry and decorate. Oh, I still have to glue in my shock cord. That took you a while last week, didn't it?
Yeah, because mine wouldn't stick. But okay, so I actually can't do anything because I don't have the batteries because I have to test to make sure the controller works.
Oh, okay. Well, did you want to ask some more questions?
Yes.
We should really have divided these up before we started.
Right, my other question was, ooh, I like this one. So someone asked, can a rocket theoretically lift off with electricity as a fuel? Why? So theoretically, yes, it can. And that would be a really cool thing for the future.
Mm.
Currently though, we can't because our technology in terms of like generating enough energy in order to do so, because imagine you would need a huge amount of energy. Our capability to do that at the moment is a solid no. We can't do it. But we can. You can hear Charlie.
I can hear Charlie meowing and it's really cute.
He's sad because I locked him in the other room.
Oh, Charlie!
And then, but we can actually use it now for satellites if we wanted to. I mean,
we just admire.
Yes. So good.
Yeah, because don't some satellites have solar power?
Yeah, especially.
So can you use like a solar powered thruster?
I actually haven't looked into solar powered thrusters. I know we're definitely doing research into it. And if not to lift off, I mean, for example, the ISS uses solar panels to like power everything. So
yeah. Well, it's that or nuclear, really, isn't it?
Or you can use this thing called ion thrusters.
Oh yeah.
Or Hall effect thrusters, which is basically ion propulsion.
Is that what Newman Space is doing?
Yeah, exactly. That's what
right.
he does. They're currently, I think, the most common satellite propulsion system because they're really reliable. They give the right amount of thrust that you need, and they've got a high specific impulse. I mean, it's not good enough for a rocket yet, but in terms of satellites, it does the job and it does it really well. So
awesome. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then, do you want to weigh in? Do you know anything about that?
Oh, no. I just think it's awesome. This is an area I know absolutely nothing about, except that I know Patty from uni.
Oh, yeah, who was it you said? I'm trying to get someone, my friend who works at JB Hi-Fi to get us a USB camera.
Ooh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to look into the GPS tracker thing then?
Sure, yes.
I feel like they would be fun to have anyway to like attach to things that I always lose.
All right, we have another question which both of us can talk about.
Okay.
So Smart Primates asked, who's your favorite, Elon, Einstein, or Tony Stark? Do you want to go first?
Who's my favorite who?
Elon, Einstein, or Tony Stark?
I thought you said Eeyore. And I was like, definitely Eeyore.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't Elon. I'm not sure if it's Einstein, and it's probably not Tony Stark.
Well, you have to pick one.
I don't like any of them. Okay, I'll go with Einstein, although Yeah, I'll go with Einstein because Einstein did actually, well, I don't know. This is difficult because there's some suggestion that maybe Einstein's work was contributed to by others. However, broadly speaking, the science is good. By which I mean not morally good or ethically good. It's just good in the sense that it exists and it's useful.
Yeah.
How about you?
It's hard because I'm kind of in the same boat where it's like I've seen like some of the stuff or read stuff that they've done behind closed doors, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
um,
See, it's hard.
I see. Like, I like Einstein because like a lot of his stuff underpins what we know about physics today.
Yeah.
But I think I just really like Tony Stark in terms of that he was kind of a rat bag, and then through becoming Iron Man, I think he kind of gained a moral compass to some extent. And
One
also,
would hope so.
and like the stuff that he developed was really cool. And I wish I could be Tony Stark in terms of the tech that I could make.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Not being an asshole, but you know.
yeah, it's difficult. If it's like, who would I want to be? That's a different question. But yeah, who would you rather go to dinner with?
Not Einstein. Oh, but see, like, okay, if I had dinner with Elon Musk, I feel like I could be like total, like, geeky, nerdy person and ask him to like show me things at SpaceX.
Do you
Or
think
like,
he would?
well, see, I don't know. I would like to think that he would if he liked me. But then also, I feel like but see, Tony Stark, I feel, would do the same thing.
I think if I was going to have dinner with someone, it would be Tony Stark.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it'd be a very interesting dinner. Like, I'd like to be mates with Einstein, but I think if it's just like a one-off dinner, Tony Stark.
Yeah. I agree. Wow,
that was a tough one. Who sent that one in?
Smart primates.
Smart primate. Wow.
That was a very good.
That's really hard.
Oh, we've got another really hard one.
Okay.
But where are you up to?
Okay. Well, I have I've attached my parachute to my nose cone and my shock cord to my nose cone. I'm waiting for my shock cord to glue to then put inside my rocket. And I've put my fins on and I'm about to put these little things into the things and glue them. But I honestly think it's going to take like...
Show me. What are they? Ooh,
they're the little footrests. They're really the ottomans of
it's supposed to help with the flow, because when the air passes over it, it's gonna like break it.
Oh really? I just assumed that was to sit on, but now that I look at the design, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
Okay, so it just like breaks up the flow of the wind. Is that to make sure that it doesn't destabilize?
It would help with stabilization, but you know how you were talking about turbulent flow?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember my fluid mechanics, but there's like two different types of flow, and laminar and turbulent, and basically it helps keep it laminar, I think. I could be definitely wrong. If someone wants to correct me, go ahead. Please.
Definitely tweet Riley and tell her if she's wrong. Also, I realized that in the first episode of this, I inhaled so much glue that I not only forgot what CASA stood for, but I also gave super vague responses to the legality of what we're doing. And I just want to say I have revisited the CASA regulations, and we are building model rockets, which means they fall under the model rockets section. And they're going to be less than 400 feet, and we're not going to be in a controlled airspace. So therefore, we are legally allowed to launch them as long as we do it in a safe way. And CASA recommends that if you want to launch a rocket, you join a rocket, like a model rocket club, to do it, because people can help you do it safely. In our case, we have not done that, but we're going to be fine. We're going to be great. So yeah.
These are made for 10-year-olds to be launched in the park in America. So I'm pretty sure we can do it.
I'm pretty sure we can too, but I'm really reassured that when I checked the legislation and the regulation, we can definitely do it. So yeah, that made me feel happy. So I just wanted to clear that up in case anyone was like, oh, she seems a little hazy on her like policy on this area. No, I'm on it. I just inhaled too much glue.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Okay, well, you know how we thought we had a tough question?
Yeah.
This one's harder. What is your favorite moon and why?
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Why are people trying to torture us? Well, I went first last time, so this time you have to go first.
Well, I know which moon I like. I just don't remember the name of it.
Oh, was it which is your favorite moon?
Yeah.
I heard which is your favorite food.
No, moon.
My brain was in a completely different place. I was like, is it chocolate chip cookies? Is it waffles? Is it bread? I love bread. Is it pasta? I love pasta. I don't know. Okay, moon. Well, I've got an answer. So.
Okay, mine is, that's what it's called, Enceladus.
Oh, which one's Enceladus?
I know it's Enceladus because I've read stuff about how they potentially are going to explore it because they think it has potential for like primitive life forms because it shoots out lots of like ice and water vapor.
Okay.
Hang on.
Mine is Europa.
Ooh, tell us about Europa.
Europa is an icy moon that probably has a crust of ice, and then under the ice has an ocean.
Ooh, so same kind of.
Yeah, so it's another site for finding potential life. And the reason it's my favorite is because when I was doing my honors research project on Antarctic scientists at a site called Lake Vostok who drank lots of vodka and did some great science and drilled ice cores, there was a team from NASA who wanted to use a little robot to then like put into this subglacial lake to test it that they would then use on Europa. And I got to go to JPL and meet the person, Kevin Hand, who was building this rocket and the team. And I met the little robot. And I met the robot and we exchanged words and I touched the robot and we have a photo together and it was a big moment. It was really nerdy, but it was a big part of my thesis and it was so exciting. So they're still testing that particular robot and every now and then I see an article about it being tested somewhere else and I get all emotional and excited about it. And I hope that one day it gets to go to Europa.
Well, so Enceladus is on Saturn. I was pretty sure it was on Saturn. But what I didn't know is, which is probably why they think it might have life forms, is it's not, it is predicted to have 91% water vapor, 4% nitrogen, 3.2% carbon dioxide, and 1.7% methane, which is all of the essential compounds we need for life. That's
very cool. So isn't it interesting that both of our favorite moons are places where we might find life? Like, yeah. It sucks for the other moons. I just want to say, like, if you're one of the other moons and you're watching this, don't feel discouraged. Humans are often very short-sighted and self-centered and anthropocentric, dare I say. And so we're really excited by life. But if you're a moon that doesn't yet offer life, or may never offer life, or just doesn't want to offer life to the universe, then that's cool too. And you should feel valid and you are enough.
I wish Pandora was real, like from Avatar. That would be super cool. Except I hope that we wouldn't go in and like destroy their environment.
Yeah, I hope we wouldn't either. I suspect we would. I have inserted these little things and it looks so cute. And I'm hoping, it says glue staving. Okay. They're called strakes. STRAKES.
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that.
Nor did I. Now I do.
What was the next question?
Do we have more questions? This is fantastic.
Oh, this is a big one. This is one you said you wanted to talk about. So we have, what is the Heisenberg uncertainty principle?
Dun, dun, dun. Well, would you like to start?
I've had to refresh my brain. I knew what it was, but not enough that I could accurately articulate it. So, okay, that doesn't help me. Basically, to my understanding, it's that if you had a particle fly past you and you wanted to know its position and velocity, Heisenberg uncertainty means that in the quantum realm, you can only know either the speed, so like its velocity, or its position. You can't know both. And that is, I think, because one affects the other, which is why by looking at it, if you know one thing, it changes. If you know the velocity, you can't know the location because it like interacts and changes, and it's just really complicated. And
by like measuring one aspect, you've changed the other. Isn't that the idea?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and it's, I suppose in a way, it's a little bit like Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
In that, like, Schrodinger's cat is both alive and dead.
Actually, I have opened the box from the University of Sydney Physics Society, which currently it says it's a wanted, and then it's a picture of Schrodinger's cat, and it says wanted dead and alive, and then the reward is the equation for Schrodinger.
Amazing. But anyway, I really like the uncertainty principle because it's a philosophical question as much as it is a scientific one in many ways, because it really goes to the heart of the issue of science, which is when we observe something, are we able to objectively observe it? Or does the act of observation change the thing that we are observing, either physically or in a more like social sense, in the way that we interpret what we see? So another way of looking at this is like, if we were aliens and we just descended to Earth and we looked at a thing, would we read it in the same way as someone who's like looked at that thing for their whole life? No, obviously not. So obviously then, like, who is looking and how they are looking and what they are doing to see makes a difference. And instrumentation, like a big question in philosophy of science, is whether is basically like, how can we know that when we look at something through a microscope, we are looking at that thing and we're not changing it in some important way that we're just unaware of? Or if we look at something through a telescope, which is more applicable to space, what we see is a representation of the thing. It isn't the thing itself. So that is something we have to think about in terms of, I suppose, accuracy and just philosophically, like, it's about the way that we do science and the way that we approximate for these things. Yeah, if you are interested in the intersection between the uncertainty principle and society, there's a play by a person called Michael Frayn called Copenhagen, which is about Bohr and Heisenberg and Margaret, and they're at a house and they spend like an entire play talking about the uncertainty principle. And it's really nerdy. And I think there's a movie of it as well. And like, I think it's one of those things where you either love it or you hate it. And I love it. So I can recommend it.
Well, I'm interested. I feel like that would be right up my alley. I would love to take my friends there and just be like, oh, let me just explain to you. I'm one of those people that when I watch a movie and I want someone to enjoy it, if I know the movie and I'm just like, I have to stop and explain it because I'm like, you must understand in order to understand why this movie is so good. But
I know, Riley.
At the same time, that is really annoying. And I know I would be really annoyed.
That's the worst. You are the worst.
I know, but it's like I care about you so much that I want you to enjoy this movie as much as I enjoyed it. So I'm going to explain to you.
I want to raise an issue. So my safety instructions for polycement very clearly say that I should avoid contact with my skin. But the instructions for building this rocket say that I have to put glue down these sections and then smooth it with my finger. One of these things is lying. Either it isn't unsafe to touch it or my instructions are unsafe. And either way, it is not suitable for children.
I would say the glue.
Sorry?
I would say that the glue is wrong because they always say stuff like that.
Oh, like when clothes are like hand wash only and you're like, nah, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm using my finger to smooth the glue.
I was gonna say, oh no, I lost my thought. God damn.
If I die.
Well, I'm gonna die first because I think I had more glue on my hands. Like my whole hands were covered.
That's true.
Oh, this was a question I was gonna ask you about Zelda when you told me you were playing it.
Oh yeah.
Did you like it? What did you think of the story?
Oh, okay. Well, I should say that I have yet to discover the full extent of the story. I have been playing Zelda Ocarina of Time. And I'm only up to, so I met the princess, I learned the lullaby, I met the horse and I learned the song, but the horse is still a baby, so it just like pushed me around the field and it was really quite cute. And then I fought some things and then I'm about to go up Death Mountain, I think. So look, I'm still deeply unclear on the story, and also I don't quite understand like the game. I don't know. I'm getting the hang of moving and fighting and doing the stuff, but if you haven't grown up on video games, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. So yeah, and then at the same time, in parallel, my friend has a Switch and has Breath of the Wild. So I've been playing that and he's been laughing at me, because I keep falling off things and dying. And it's so much more complicated, but the graphics, oh my God, and it's beautiful and I love it. So I love just wandering around and doing things. I don't know that I'm that invested in the story yet. But in Breath of the Wild, I just caught a horse and registered it as my horse. So that was really exciting as well. Yeah.
I'm getting Breath of the Wild. That's the one
I'm
getting. So.
I think it's an amazing game. I am blown away by how creative it is and how much glue there is everywhere. Oh my God.
Well, if you ever want, I'm a massive game person. Like currently, I've restarted this game called Skyrim, and it has been voted one of the best games pretty much ever. But basically, it's kind of like Zelda in terms of you play as one person. And like there is a main quest line where you're this person called the Dragonborn, which essentially means you have dragon blood, which means you are like the ultimate slayer of dragons.
Okay, see, this is some logic that only makes sense in a video game.
I know.
The idea that you have dragon blood and therefore you're the ultimate slayer of dragons is just like, that would never occur to me. If someone was like, oh, your character has dragon blood, I'd be like, oh, okay, so I guess I'm like aligned with the dragons.
Yeah, no, I do get that. I'm like, see, I did like the Game of Thrones thing, how, you know, she became like the mother of dragons because I didn't really understand Game of Thrones all that much in that storyline, but like she could like walk through fire or something and it wouldn't burn her. So I'm guessing it was like she had dragon blood or something. I don't know.
So much glue.
The games. We were talking about games. Anyway, in Skyrim.
Game of Thrones is good, but isn't it amazing how after it finished, and I have to say the last season was appallingly bad.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It's just so not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Like I give it no thought, whereas I used to be so invested, and that's really fascinating to me. Whereas there are some shows where they just continue to be amazing well after they've finished.
Give an example.
Oh, I don't know. Well, people love Doctor Who.
I never got into Doctor Who only because when I was like 4, I walked in on my uncle watching it, and of course I walk in on this like really scary scene, which I mean it probably wasn't scary, but to a 4-year-old it was absolutely terrifying. Like there was these like really scary looking aliens and they were like attacking someone who I'm assuming was the doctor, and I was just like, I will never watch this show.
It is a really scary show, I think. I mean, it's kind of, it is quite scary.
I was traumatized, but I mean, I was 4. So
well, yeah, I wasn't really allowed to watch it as a kid. So again, like another friend of mine was like, you must watch Doctor Who. So I've been watching it with her and I've only seen like 3 episodes. But I understand that there's a whole thing.
Yes.
And I guess there are some people still into Game of Thrones. I think the last season was just so disappointing. So maybe I'll have to return to the books as they come out because I hope they'll be better.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will be.
I have the books, and my concern is that because there's always so much going on, is I'm going to get lost and just be able to appreciate it.
Yeah.
But, what's in? Oh yeah, okay. So there's Doctor Who. There's I know it's not like sci-fi related, but you know, there's those shows that just go on forever, and every like
oh yeah,
Home and Away. The amount of times I go to like people in the town that my mum visits, and they just know so much about the storyline, and they know what's happened like in the past 20 years, and it's just like, wow.
Fun fact, Riley. My first year and second year of university, my job was being an extra on Home and Away.
So you would know all about the story?
No, I've never seen an episode, but I looked young and I was like, the university is relatively close to where they filmed at the studios in, where are they? I don't know, but it's quite close. So I used to just like go and be an extra and work on my assignments between takes. And yeah.
Where is this? I want to do this.
Oh, I'm sure you can. It's still running. Although I don't know if they're filming at the moment because of COVID. I don't know. Maybe. One show that went forever that I love is MASH.
I've seen a few episodes with my grandpa and it was quite entertaining.
It's fantastic. I watched like the whole box set so many times as a kid.
Oh, box set. I love, did you ever watch House?
No, but I've heard it's very good.
It's Hugh Laurie, and he's an amazing actor.
I
And
do love
basically,
Hugh Laurie.
he plays like this doctor who's like, he's kind of like a genius, I guess. Like he can always find, like he's always given the special cases because no one else can figure out what's wrong with them. But
Oh yeah, and he's
he,
like, oh, ow, I've been sitting on my ankle and it really hurts.
it's a rare tapeworm which only occurs in 1 in 5 people every year or something. But he's also like a bit of a, and so like I guess you watch how he transforms, and the ending is very like, I would say bittersweet because it's sad, but it's also like the ending it deserved.
Okay, I'll have to look into it.
Mm.
Yeah, MASH is my thing. I recently watched the whole box set of Foyle's War as well.
Oh,
Which
I've never heard of that.
Foyle's War, it's like murder mystery kind of thing, and it's pretty great. So
Is it British?
it is, and it's an old show again.
British TV shows are
I'm
so
like
good.
I'm like such an old person. I'm like, oh yes, MASH and Foyle's War.
Or I love British TV. I don't know why. It's just
Yeah.
good. Same as there's Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. So good.
Oh yes, yes. Oh my God, so much glue. My ankle's feeling better now. Okay, so do you want an update on where I'm up to? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have now glued and then reinforced with more glue, hence my like dying over here. The fins and stabilizing strakes on my rocket. And I have glued the little straw thing here,
Nice.
yonder. And I have attached my parachute to my nose cone. And I am just waiting for this to be dry. I think it's probably dry enough. Yeah, I'm going to glue this now into my rocket, and that's it. It's just decoration from there, and dry. It has to dry. So, but it will very soon. And wow, I'm so excited. I'm so proud of both of us.
I know. Look, it's so pretty. I can't wait to launch them. This is gonna stay in my house forever.
Aw, that's so sweet.
It's like when people, you know how like people always keep like, oh, baby's first haircut or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is my first rocket, and I shall keep it forever. And I really hope it doesn't get destroyed. I really hope I've made it correctly and it doesn't like blow up.
Yeah, or catch fire or something. Oh
That would
no.
be very sad.
I moved my pencil because I was playing violin and had to mark some stuff on the sheet music.
I love violin. It's such a beautiful instrument, and I learned to play it in school, and I've completely forgotten, which makes me really sad.
Really? I'm sure
Yeah.
you'd pick it up again. I have made this way too solid with way too much glue. Okay, I have to bend it a little. I was amazed. Like, I used to play at school and I hadn't played for maybe 10 years. And I just like picked it up again, and I was terrible when I started. And after a couple of months, I'm like, I'm not good, but I'm probably back to where I was when I was like 13. So that's pretty good.
One of my closest friends, she's now training to be an opera singer, but she's one of those musical geniuses. Like, she plays violin at like a ridiculous standard. She plays piano. She's obviously got an incredible voice, and it's just funny because, you know, I grew up like playing violin with her, and she would just completely like be on a next level to me, and it used to just like always shatter my confidence, even though I was like, I don't know why this is a competition, because, you know, that's what she wanted to do. But yeah. I also played a little bit of cello, and I really enjoyed the cello. I just hated having to carry it around at school. That was the biggest pain.
That would be an annoyance. You had trouble gluing this last time, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to hold it and hope for the best.
That's what I have to do.
Yeah. What have you got planned for like the rest of the day? /week/weekend?
Well, I want to finish my assignment, so I'm probably going to do that tonight. And then I need to do some more work for my internship tomorrow. And then on Saturday and Sunday, because you got me all excited talking about video games, I'm probably going to play video games. Not all day, not be like sit on my couch all day, but I will probably do that. And then, I don't know. The weekends are always so breezy for me because I never have many plans. And I like it that way because I can be spontaneous.
Yeah, that sounds great. That
What
sounds
about
like a good plan. Well, I've got this webinar tonight, so I'm probably going to try and get a bit more work done on my thesis this afternoon, and then like have some dinner and have a cup of tea because it starts at 10 p.m. and it won't be finished until at least midnight. So it's a bit of a late one. And then I'm just thinking, what have I got on? I think from there, it's just like preparations for my next webinar I'm running in a couple of weeks. And I might play some Zelda, maybe, possibly. Yeah. I know it's bad, but it's fun.
You would love this game called Animal Crossing.
I had a dream last night. I tweeted about this. I had a dream last night. I've never played Animal Crossing. I've never seen Animal Crossing. I've just heard about it. And last night I had a dream that someone asked me to write a like academic analysis of Animal Crossing. And in my head, I was just tortured by like the significance of the giraffe in an urban context and what that said about society. And it was a really not fun dream because I was like doing work in my head and writing an essay. And I still don't know what Animal Crossing is. Well, it's very odd.
Animal Crossing is really good, but then you get to this point where it's like you've done everything, but you need to continually do the same things every day because that's how you make your money, and then you have to interact with everyone. And
that
then
just sounds like life, Riley.
Yeah, I know, right? But I was actually reading an article about it because they were like, what is the appeal to this game? Where it's like you're literally doing, like, you wake up, you go pick all your fruit off your trees, you go sell it, then you go around the island digging up fossils, and then you go sell it or take it to the museum. But, like, because you're always doing the same thing, it was kind of just like, why is it so appealing? Because we do that every day. But the funny thing is that it became my routine to wake up, have breakfast, play Animal Crossing, do the Animal Crossing, like it became a part of my routine.
Curious.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like it's got some very interesting applications for analysis on everyday life.
I think it's dark. Here, I'm going to get the torch so you can look inside my rocket. If I shine like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nice. I think it's stuck.
I hope so, but now I'm really worried because I can't actually put it this way without it toppling. And I think these still need to dry. Yeah, they're still a bit wonky, a bit wobbly, I mean. I think it just needs to dry and then next time I'll be ready to decorate.
All right.
So before we wrap up, I wanted to say that if you're watching and you want to send in questions, do that.
And next time I'm going to be building the ISS Lego set, which I'm very, very
excited. As in like while I'm decorating this?
Sure. If you can do that.
Yeah, if you're done, right? You've built a whole launch pad and a whole rocket in the time it's taken me to do this. And it doesn't look as cool as yours.
But you haven't decorated yours though.
That's true, and I have great plans. Yeah, I think I'm going to paint everything on it white because I can't be bothered painting the nose cones. I'm just going to paint the fins white, and then I'm going to stick those little googly eye things all over it.
Amazing. It's going to look, I feel like it's going to look cool, but it's also going to look spooky.
Yeah, yes, I think so, which means there'll be more paint and probably more of this. So that'll be fun. And wait, so you're building Lego?
I want to, yeah. I haven't bought it yet, but there's a Lego store near me, so I'm going to go do that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, or like if you're watching this and you want to, you know, sponsor Riley, like send her some Lego.
I would
As
love
if
Lego.
I don't think we're nearly cool enough to have like sponsors.
One day, Annie, one day. Maybe we'll even get more model rockets from SD.
Maybe, although I have said, and I'll say it again, these instructions are not good.
Mine were okay. I don't know. Mine were okay. I mean, they weren't the best.
It's like my nose cone. It's a completely different nose cone.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, I was able to decipher it, but if you're a kid, you might struggle. So, but we'll see how they launch because ultimately that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I think we should finish up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before we stop for this week?
I can't wait to launch the rockets, and I think we're going to do it live, aren't we? The actual like rocket launch bit live. So
Yeah.
that'll be really exciting. And
Yeah, it'll be live, and obviously we'll also then release it on YouTube. So if you're overseas and in a different time zone, you can still watch.
yeah, that's all I really have to say. And I can't wait. I just can't wait to keep building stuff. I find this really relaxing.
It's incredibly therapeutic. If you have not yet begun building your own thing along with us, consider it.
Yeah.
It never fails to make me feel better.
I agree. And maybe when I'm building, maybe I'll make a post about the Lego and people can build it along in the video.
Epic.
All
All right. Cool. See you.
Bye.